I love you in and out and up and down, all the way and all around. There ain't no way to overstate it. I never knew I could, or if I would, find a lover how I should. You just can't plan for love like this. Oh, you and me make one fine we. Oh, you and I, no one can deny.
I am what I am. I'm a cowboy. Well, not really a cowboy, but I'm a farmer. I am get my hands in the ground, have dirt all over the place, rough house with the dogs, work with the cattle and the goats and the chickens and the turkeys.
Hi, this is Haley from Angie and Haley Presents Conquering Love. I'm here with a friend of mine and a guest, William, or Will. And he's here, we're here to discuss conquering love and finding love as a transgendered man. So, William, at what age did you start to realize that something was different about your gender?
Well, I first really started understanding the difference between male and female when I was 5. And I remember actually asking my mom if I could go and be a boy. So I'd have to say 5 is when I really first started understanding that something wasn't quite right.
And how receptive was your family toward hearing that from you?
Well, in that situation, my mom actually, and I quote, stated, "That's not possible, don't tell your grandfather." Which is probably wise words at the time, because my grandfather, he's another generation, doesn't understand, doesn't get it. And so that would probably have caused a lot of issues back then. I revisited the topic when I was 18. My mom was still not so open to the idea. And finally, when I was 23, she realized that if she didn't accept me for who I am, that she was going to lose me. And started her own journey and her own process of figuring out how to be accepting and just let love be love. Still love me for who I am, and not sit there and think too much about what I look like on the outside. Just love my personality. So she started that.
And how about your friends and family? Did they follow suit? Were they accepting?
It took time. It really took time. My grandfather, he accepted me after almost dying, and I basically was the only one in the family that was there making sure that he needed what he needed, on a day-to-day basis. Everyone loves him, of course, but I was physically there and capable of being there. And he finally accepted me. My friends, I have a few close friends, and they all just went, okay, whatever. You're still you. So.
You're lucky, because not everyone is fortunate.
Yeah.
In the trans community.
There's a lot of people actually that end up getting shunned by their family. All of those statistics that you hear, the 72% of young transgender people attempting suicide is because they come out. And all they want is for people to love and accept them for who they are and not treat them any different. They're still the same person. It's just how people view them that they want to be accepted for. And their families shun them, and their friends shun them, and they go from lying to everyone but having everyone there to telling them the truth and then having nobody. And that's hard. It's hard to watch from an outside perspective. I'm sure it's even harder to live it.
Well said, thank you. So physically speaking, Will, where are you in your transition?
Well,
today,
there are a lot of different places that people can be within their transition. Physically speaking, I have had top surgery, so I've had my breasts removed. And I have had my uterus removed, which benefits by having less estrogen in my body. And also, I don't have a period anymore, which...
Lucky.
Yay! Not having to deal with that, it's definitely amazing. I opted to keep my ovaries because the ovaries do produce testosterone, and they do produce just a minimal amount of estrogen, which is necessary just for life. Even a natural cisgendered male has some estrogen in their bodies. So I opted to keep that.
Nice. And you take a shot every week?
Yeah.
Testosterone shot.
Every week I have to get a shot to increase the level of testosterone in my body, which, as you can see, this is real. It's my body took to it really well, and I just keep that up.
And where do you put that? Is it in your leg or your arm?
Actually, I go to the doctor.
Oh, you don't do it yourself?
Oh, no. Some people do. Some people do the shots themselves, but I'm a pansy when it comes to needles. I don't do needles very well. So I go to the doctor, and they alternate between right and left side of the butt.
Okay.
So
painful, or
you get used to it.
Okay.
You get really used to it. So it's not that hard.
And what do you think is the biggest issue that you face since you've came out as transgender?
Perception. I have the hardest time with how people perceive me, and I know that's across the board. I know everybody. I mean, when you're transitioning, the goal is to blend in. The goal is to look like the gender that you identify as. I know I'm a guy, and obviously I look like a guy.
Yeah.
It's who I am. But people's perception ends up changing the moment I pull out my ID. Every time that I have to, be on a phone conversation with my bank, the first thing that they ask is, okay, so what's the name on your account? And so I have to explain to them why the name on my account is a female's name, and I don't sound like a girl.
No, you don't.
I don't have the cadence of a female. I don't have, anything in my voice saying, oh, this is a girl. So I have to explain to them, all right, okay, the name on my account is such and such. I go by Will. I use male pronouns because I am transgender. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes they get a little leery. And it is what it is.
Is that hard for you to have to constantly go through this spiel with people over the phone? I feel like I would get irritated.
It is irritating. It's really irritating. But it's not irritating for the same reason that you might think.
Okay.
For me, it's the repetition that's irritating.
Yeah.
For me, it's not the fact that I have to do the spiel, it's that I have to do it over and 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 over again. And I understand. They're doing their job. They want to know that I am who I say I am. They're protecting my bank account, and I appreciate that. Any situation where I need some kind of security, they are protecting me. And so that doesn't irritate me. It's just the repetition.
Sure. I understand that.
So, and then with perception, the other thing is, when finding love specifically, how does the person see me? Do you see me as a guy that happens to have, different parts underneath the pants? Or do you see me as a female who is in the middle of a transition to be a guy. Relationships are tough in that sense.
As I can imagine.
You gotta find someone who, for me, I'm gonna be looking for someone who sees me as a guy that just happens to have different body parts. Because I'm just a guy.
Right.
Some people, they want them to accept the body parts first and then accept the personality second. Me, I'd rather you accept my personality first and then accept me, my physicality.
Now, as far as dating is concerned, have you used any dating apps? Is there any good ones out there that you've had luck with?
Dating apps are tough because you go on a dating app and then let's just say Tinder. Okay? Tinder's all about what you look like. But what you're getting underneath the looks is different. People, they see me and they see this nice, beard that I'm trying to, still working on fluffing up. They see the cowboy hat. They see the personality that goes along with the picture. But what they don't see is the fact that what's underneath the pants is not necessarily what they want.
Right. So, William, earlier you mentioned perception. What did you mean by that?
Well, perception is entirely how the person views you, and then also how you view yourself. I mean, I view myself as a man that happens to have female parts. Some people see me as a woman who has a man's mentality. And they're the people that I don't want to date. Because I'm not a woman. I'm a man that has female parts. So, that perception changes how people interact. On a relationship basis, it means that the girl that I am dating would treat me like a man and just kind of overlook the fact that I don't have all of the male parts. And that's favorable in my situation.
I see.
But perception's key.
So we mentioned earlier the dating apps and things like that. So, you're a cute guy. Are you dating?
No, I'm not seeing anyone right now. I really, it's a struggle to find someone.
Sure.
It's a struggle to find someone that really appreciates what I am. So
I can relate to that.
And the app did not, the people on the other side of the app, when they did the picture confirmation, I explained to them, look, I'm transgender. Born female, transitioning male. I'm looking for something different. I'm not just a horny boy like on Grindr looking for sex. I want a real, intimate, serious, long-term relationship. And they basically looked at me and said, you're not a woman. You don't belong on this app.
They shouldn't have the female to male option then.
Exactly.
So there is no dating app specifically for trans guys.
Not that I know of. Doesn't mean it's not out there. I've just never heard of it.
Okay.
And believe me, I've looked.
Well, there should be. All right, so let's wrap this up. William, can you tell us where we can find you on social media? And tell us about your YouTube channel, Ask a Trans Guy.
Oh, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, actually. I am in the process of having this beautiful concept come to fruition. It's called Ask a Trans Guy. YouTube, Facebook. Right now, you can find me on Facebook, real easy. Literally just Ask a Trans Guy. We'll probably have that put on here somewhere. But the premises of it is ask me any question. I'm an open book. back to what I was saying, trying to fit in, trying to not be so noticeable is the main goal for most trans people, which means that we have a lack of communication, a lack of understanding, and this huge bridge that needs to be built to narrow the gap between people who are trans and people who just don't understand. So come one, come all, ask those questions. I don't care how insulting they may seem, just ask it. Let it come off your tongue. Partly because I know that if you're asking me, you're just curious. Curiosity is what I like. You're not here to insult me, and I'm not here to tell you how whatever of a person you're being. My goal is to make you comfortable and get these questions answered. That way we have more educated people and less judgments.
I agree with you on that. I'm a very curious person myself, and I'm not afraid to ask those questions that most people are too afraid to ask.
You know what? I think actually on that, the easiest way to make people feel comfortable is to give them examples, right?
So, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Do you want to have bottom surgery?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And actually, you asked, that was a perfect way to ask that. Some people will ask me, so do you want a penis? And that's not exactly the best way to ask.
It's not.
But it's okay to ask me those questions. That's the way that I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Because then I can say, hey, the best way that you can ask is like how you did. Do you want to have lower surgery? Do you want to have bottom surgery? Me, I do want to have lower surgery. I'm pretty comfortable with waiting though, because science has not caught up with us. And I will definitely be making on Ask a Trans Guy a whole video about the process of surgeries, the risks, the benefits, pros, cons, different kinds. So that's something for you to look up, look towards having that come out. But yes, I do want to have lower surgery. I'm just comfortable waiting until there's a good surgery.
That's it's a scary thing to have done to your body.
Yeah, having
there's chance that you could lose sensation, right?
Loss of sensation,
bladder problem.
Definitely bladder problems because you're dealing with the urethra. Things like function, size, all of that is key to having a successful surgery, and it's very individual. Everybody's transition is very individual to what they want, how they feel comfortable with their bodies or not. And so, the surgeries out there right now are just not quite where I want them to be.
And I'm sure you've done a lot of research.
I have. And like I said, we'll have a whole topic on Ask a Trans Guy about surgeries, the different kinds, what they produce, and risks and benefits of each of them.
And do you respect those in the community that don't decide to have it done? Do you feel like they're any less man if they don't have it done?
And that's a whole nother topic too. I personally respect everybody's individual journey. It doesn't matter where you are at in that journey. It's your personal journey.
Well, William, I just want to say a big thank you for being on our show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Glad we met.
I am too.
Yeah. Well, this is Haley with Angie and Haley Presents Conquering Love. Signing out. Peace and love. Bye.
We're just like turtle doves and penguin loves, prairie voles and seahorses. Just you and me until the end.
What kind of music do you like?
Jeez, everything. Techno, trance, classical, opera, rock.
So you're pretty well rounded in that area.
Yeah.
I like that.
Love music.